Greetings, vinyl community. Hope everyone is doing well. It's been busy. Busy, I can't lie to you. Since I saw you last, I've been to Vancouver. I was there for less than 24 hours, but we'll get to that in a second. I did a little bit of vinyl shopping. I think I've added about, I'm looking around, I did a rough count. I've added about 80 records since I last saw you. What else? Oh, I've been finding some vintage stereo equipment in thrift stores, which I will show you in a different video. So I hope everyone, like I said, I hope everyone's doing well. So let's start this video off right. Cheers, everyone. I got to get right to this today because there's no way we're going to blow through 80 records today and other things like that I would have to show you. So we're like always, we're just going to go until we go. You know what? We got one CD to show you, but it's a hell of a CD. It's a CD box set that I found at a thrift store a couple weeks ago. This was a whopping $4.99. It's Radiohead. I believe this is their 2007 complete discography. If you can see there. These are all remastered in one box set. That was one hell of a find for a $5. So only a CD purchase to show you. I don't know if you can see I'm sure you guys have all seen this, but it's got nice little reflective symbols of, I don't know, their mascot, I guess. It's their version of Eddie, I guess, maybe. Anyways, yeah, so the Radiohead 2007 album box set. That was a nice thrift store find. Okay, where do we start with vinyl? There is a lot of new vinyl to show you. Some of it I've ordered through the mail. Some of it I found at a local record store. RCP and Free Cloud. Where else? Just all over the place. And I have to preface some of this by saying I took a lot of CDs down to a used record store, which I haven't done in years and years and years. I have a lot of CDs, byproduct of being in the record retail business for, like I always say, over 2 decades. So you obtain a lot of CDs, whether it be promo copies you get for free or you buy them there because you get them at cost. But I'm in the process of weeding through a lot of my CDs because I have no room. So what I did is I boxed up a few boxes. I took them down to a local record store and they gave me, let's just say a generous credit. So I used that towards some new vinyl just to fill some holes in my collection. Once again, cheers everyone. You have to excuse me, I just woke up. I just ran for a coffee and I look really crap. But anyways, you don't come here for the looks, do you? I wouldn't either. All right, let's get through some new vinyl here. Bad Religion, All Ages. This is, Epitaph Records finally did a repress of this. So I've been looking for this on vinyl for a while. It was out of print briefly. I think probably longer than briefly for a while. And this has finally come back out on vinyl. This was like ostensibly like a greatest hits for a band. They didn't have any greatest hits, but it's a best of collection, I guess. All Ages by Bad Religion. I think this must have come out in the 90s because I had this on CD way back when, and I used to play the hell out of this in my car. Bad Religion, All Ages. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible because there's a lot of stuff to get through today. A lot. Judas Priest, Angel of Retribution. This is maybe one of the only Judas Priest albums I don't have on vinyl with Nostradamus, which for all the hate that album gets, I will definitely do you a trade if you have that album on vinyl. I will trade you for that. Just saying. I don't mind that album. Anyways, Judas Priest, Angel of Retribution. This was their first album, I believe, after they reformed with Rob Halford. It's in the middling of the best to worst Judas Priest albums. It's in the middle there somewhere. It's not bad. It's not great. I just didn't have it on vinyl. Like I said, I had this store credit. So why not fill some holes? Judas Priest, Angel of Retribution. David Bowie. This one did come via, I believe, Amazon, but you guys all don't care about that. This is continuing in the series of anniversary editions. They bait you. The David Bowie buyers will buy anything. And what's 2 thumbs and that will buy anything Bowie. This guy. But this is the part of the colored vinyl series. I think this is the 3rd or 4th one that's come out now. This one is on red vinyl. for Diamond Dogs by David Bowie. And I shouldn't take these things out because I'm going to waste a lot of time putting them back in front of the camera. So, yeah, David Bowie, Diamond Dogs. Rolling Stones. I like some Rolling Stones. I'm not a hardened Rolling Stones fan from the 60s, I will tell you that. I'm more of a greatest hits fan of the Rolling Stones. And this came out, and a local record store had this below 45 bucks for 3 records. And I don't know why. For some reason, Amazon Canada, and I know a lot of my viewers are not in Canada, but their price still on this is like $99 or something like that, something crazy. So, not that I base Amazon, but it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like Discogs, use it as a barometer to test the water of current prices for new vinyl. The local record store had this for, it was just under $45. This is the triple greatest hit set of the Rolling Stones called Honk. And what drew me to this is I do like a lot of later Rolling Stones, meaning Love is Strong, stuff like that. Voodoo Lounge, stuff like that, which I haven't had a chance to get on vinyl. Obviously, I'm sure those reissues are coming out soon. But this is a damn good triple greatest hits album, I will say. I don't know of... There's a couple songs missing that I would have liked to see, but, you know, you can't win them all. But Honk by the Rolling Stones, the triple greatest hits album that just recently came out. Local record store. RCP, if you're local, you know what I'm talking about. This was sitting in their new release bin, and it's a record I've been wanting on vinyl for a while that I just forgot to pick up. It came out on the tail end of when I was owning a record store. And I have it on CD. I just never bought it on vinyl for some dumb reason. Regretted it ever since. Pajama Club. So if you don't know Pajama Club, hang tight. Pajama Club is Neil Finn from Crowded House and Split Enz, and his wife Sharon on bass and vocals, and then there's someone on organ, and it's a 3-piece, and it's a very, very good indie electro garage band, if that makes sense. It's just very lo-fi indie rock, I guess. But for Neil Finn and his wife to turn out this album, I think it's really awesome. Maybe sample it if you want to hear it, obviously. But it's a damn good record. Very happy to find this for a really good price locally. Pajama Club. In fact, you can see Neil Finn plays drums. If you're familiar with Neil Finn, he's one of my all-time heroes. Neil Finn plays drums on this album, and his wife plays bass, and I can't remember his name on keyboards. Anyways, Pajama Club. Picked up, yeah, this is some of that store credit I was telling you about. Some late record store day stuff that I didn't pick up the first or second or third time around my trips around the stores. But one store had a straggler copy of this, and I just picked it up because Pearl Jam is collectible. And I traded some CDs for it. But this is the record store day title Live at Easy Street. I haven't heard it yet. And there's a lot of stuff I'm going to show you I haven't heard yet. I'm very backlogged. But Pearl Jam live on Easy Street. And I'm using a new light today. I will tell you that. So I'm trying to get used to the shadows and not to blind you with reflective album covers. So if this video turns out really shitty looking, blame the new light. Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. This was part of that trade-in for the CDs. Once again, an album I've been wanting on vinyl for a long time. It's just, it's in my pecking order of back catalog titles I want to pick up. It's just got pushed back, and then it was a no-brainer when I had this credit. The only thing I don't like is I don't like these Def Jam hologram covers. Yeah, I mean... Some people must like them. I wish they would just... I mean, I think they did come out with a standard matte, or whatever you want to call it, I guess regular cover, but that the store didn't have it. So I picked up the hologram cover of Fear of a Black Planet. In my estimation, let's try this way, the best rap album of all time. I'm going to throw that down right now. I'm throwing the gauntlet down. Best rap album of all time. And when I heard this when I was young... it actually scared me a bit. The vocal delivery of Chuck D, and just the relentless beats of the Bomb Squad. I don't think it's Terminator X on this album. This might have been after Terminator X got kicked out. I can't remember. But anyways, Terminator X was on this album. Sorry, I'm thinking of Professor Griff. I don't know how many rap fans are out there to get those references. But Fear of a Black Planet. Damn hologram covers. Prodigy. The singles. Let's try this way. Nothing more to say about this. Just, but once again, something I've been meaning to pick up, and it was a no-brainer, and I had all this credit. Just a rock-solid greatest hits album by the Prodigy. I love some Prodigy. Well, I love the first 4 albums. Well, another record store day title I didn't pick up first time around because I just didn't want to pay the price. But once again, we have all this credit to use. Is the record store reissue of Yes, first album. On, what is it, green vinyl? It's on green vinyl. But what attracted me to it, to be honest, it's not the best Yes album. It's, there's some covers on it, and they're kind of still finding their feet. But having said that, it is still a very good album. But it's an all analog cut by Kevin Gray. And it sounds weird to say I have favorite people who are mastering and cutting albums, but Kevin Gray is probably my favorite at the moment. If I see anything with Kevin Gray, and it's an all analog cut, I generally pick it up because if it's an album I'm interested in. It's a damn good album, or it's going to be damn good sounding. And Kevin Gray did this record store day title, and so, like I said, even though it's not the best Yes album, and I'm a big Yes fan, the sound is absolutely amazing. So the record store day title of Yes on green vinyl, all analog cut by Kevin Gray. And honestly, it sounds really nerdy, but that shit really does kind of matter to me when I see that sticker on it, and it's someone who's done some great work in the past. He did a really good version of T-Rex Electric Warrior. I've talked about that before. Sorry, I'm back to the swill that is Tim Hortons, and it's early, and I need my coffee, so I apologize for being a pig on this video, gulping coffee down, but I had a rough week working all overnight shifts. I'll park this one, and I'll finish up with the last 2 ones I got on credit here at this local record store. Run DMC. I think this is their second album, but this is the one. I have an original copy that I found, like, I'm talking like maybe 87, 88. I found at a used record store, and it was in their clearance bin because I don't think anyone at the time really was familiar. This is pre-Walk This Way, and I had MTV, like I've talked about, and King of Rock was in heavy rotation at the time. So I picked this up, dumb white kid, and I just fell in love with it. And this is the music on vinyl reissue of Run DMC's King of Rock. Very, very, very happy to have a replacement copy to my original worn out copy. This is back in the days when, I might have had 20 records, being a young kid. So if you have 20 records, you tend to play the shit out of those ones. So I'm glad to get a modern day reissue, especially on Music on Vinyl, my favorite reissue label. Run DMC, King of Rock. You know what? Some punk. GBH. Leather, Bristles, Studs, and Acne. As far as that second wave of punk with the Exploited, Discharge, and those bands like that, GBH would be my favorite. And I'm speaking punk, and I don't know how many people like punk who watch these videos. I much more prefer City Babies Attacked by Rats and City Babies Revenge. But there's some really damn good tracks on this one. Sick Boy and Necrophilia, I believe, are on this one. GBH, Leather, Bristles, Studs, and Acne. In fact, when I was booking live shows at a local venue, which is No More, I had the pleasure of booking GBH, which was one of those dream shows. I think I've talked about this before. When you're a head booker at a club, sometimes you have license to book bands that are very self-serving. GBH was one of them. It was an awesome pleasure to have them, and I was very happy to get that on vinyl. And these two are Amazon purchases, I think. Pink Floyd, like every other MF out there who got this. This is nothing new. You guys have all seen this. This is the new 25th anniversary double vinyl, blue vinyl edition of the Division Bell. The only reason I picked this one up is I'd never bothered to pick up the Division Bell on vinyl, ever. And in my mind, it was always a lesser Pink Floyd album, and still is to a lot of people. But I actually really liked it. These later Pink Floyd albums, I just kind of consider David Gilmour albums. But very happy to have it. Really great sounding record, by the way. Speaking of audio quality, if you haven't picked this up and you're doubting yourself, you don't have it. The quality on this new 25th anniversary blue vinyl is really, really good. So highly recommended. Division Bell. Well, I think this might be the last new vinyl I have to show you, or record, however you want to call it. This was a Father's Day present from my wife. This is Cabaret Voltaire, electropunk to technopop. Maybe, I don't know how many people out there know Cabaret Voltaire, but they're one of the kind of pioneers of electronic music coming out of England with the Human League and Throbbing Gristle, etc., etc. But this is kind of like a singles compilation, and once again, this is one of those records I wouldn't shell out for myself, but if someone else wants to pick up the bill. Double vinyl, singles collection by Cabaret Voltaire. I played this probably 2 or 3 times already. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, some Cabaret Voltaire. So, last new record, at least that I have to show you anyways, unless I find more. What time are we at? We're already at 16 minutes. And it's been all new vinyl. So we're gonna plow through this. This was an online ad. And the ad said, and I work overnights, and this was listed very early in the morning, I believe. Maybe before everyone gets up, I'm not sure. But, you know, on my breaks, I'll flip through local online ads, and then the ad said just Beatles collection for sale, and nothing else, no price, nothing else, like nothing else. That's all the ad said, and a photo of the records. So I responded saying I'm interested. They said come have a look, and I made them a really, well, I mean, I didn't make them an offer. They told me what they were looking for. This collection, it was really ridiculously cheap for what I got. I mean, really, really ridiculously cheap. So keep on scrolling through those local online ads. This is what I got. I think this is all Beatles except for one record. Most of these are the later 70s purple vinyl. But I've said this before, the purple capital label. Sorry, not purple vinyl, purple capital label. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. I have original pressings of Beatles records, of the similar ones that I'm going to show you. And then if you play that next to those purple label capital records ones, I will take the purple, just for quality of audio, I'll take the purple label ones every time over originals. Originals are cool to say you own, but as far as audio quality, apart from, you know, Japanese vinyl probably, and then the recent reissues, I honestly believe the purple capital record label ones are probably the best ones, in my opinion. Nice copy of the White Album with all the inserts in it. I'm going to not really talk about these albums because you guys know the Beatles. A really nice version of Sgt. Pepper's, and it has all the inserts in it. The cutout, if you guys know what I'm talking about, all the inserts. Has the cutout sheets, etc., etc. Sgt. Pepper's, this is probably my 3rd or 4th copy I own. I got to start thinning these out. But this is a really nice one. Reflective stare again, sorry. Sgt. Pepper's. Nice copy of Let It Be. The vinyl is really nice on this one. Once again, I don't know how many copies of this album I have. Like I said, I got to start reducing the copies I have that have multiples, but maybe my 4th copy of Rubber Soul. Is it my favorite Beatles album? You know what? I'm going to go with the White Album today. White Album is my favorite Beatles album today. Yeah. Beatles 4. I believe that's what it is. But I just woke up, and this is the only time I have to film a video, and my Roman numerals aren't strong today. But we're going to call this Beatles 4. Beatles love songs. I've never had this on vinyl before. This has a really, really thick booklet inside, so it has the original booklet in. And if you don't know this album, it's, like I said, I've never owned it before, but I've seen it around a lot. It's just a collection of their kind of, I guess what it says, love songs. Double vinyl. Nice textured sleeve, by the way. Textured sleeve. Beatles Help. Meet the Beatles. And you know what? I have this on CD, obviously, but if you're a Beatles fan, you need this on some kind of format. But I looked at my collection and I don't have this on vinyl. It's gold. It's a gold record. I'm gonna bet it's more than gold nowadays. It's probably many times platinum or I don't know. Anyways, iconic cover, Meet the Beatles. I was surprised to find out I didn't have this on vinyl. The Beatles' second album, Twist and Shout. And for whatever random reason, I guess I got to reach and get this one. They had 2 copies of the White Album, so I probably have like 6 of them now. One has the inserts, one doesn't, so one will stay, one will, I don't know, leave. But yeah, they had 2 copies of the White Album, and this old couple will never see this video. They were moving to a different city actually. They'll never see this video, but I need to thank you because yeah, you gave me a really good deal on those, massively good deal. And there's one more, sorry, before I forget, that they had. I asked them what else they had. They made mention they had some more records, and I got just a super clean copy of Led Zeppelin 4. I've talked about this before. I'm always in that search of the perfect copy, and this, I keep on finding better and better copies. In the quiet passages, there's no sound, there's no pops, no crackles, and that's what I'm looking for. This one's a damn nice copy of Beatles 4, or Beatles 4. We covered that one already, Led Zeppelin 4. I might have to compare this with the other ones I have and pick one to keep because this might be the keeper. All right, there's some records I'm going to bypass because I don't think anyone needs to see them. Like the Best of Dolly Parton I picked up for myself because it has Jolene on it and other songs, which I have on 7-inch, but I have a soft spot for early Dolly Parton. I'm sorry, I do. I think she's an incredibly good songwriter. But this is a stellar greatest hits album I found at a thrift store. But you know what, I'm going to park that one. Once again, this is part of that store credit I was talking about, and I've been looking at this local store for a long time. They were asking a lot of money for it, and then I asked them, so I got the store credit. You guys have had this in your store for a long time. Would you be willing to negotiate the price down? And they did. They knocked a hell of a lot of money off this one. I have an original now copy of the original Master Plan by Oasis 10-inch box set. Original Creation Records UK. This is 7 10-inch records, which comprises the full Master Plan album, which I have on vinyl, the recent reissue. But to have an original Oasis Creation album, especially the box set, was really thrilling. And I'm not regretting selling or trading these CDs in now because I get things like this. Master Plan, oddly enough, one of my favorite Oasis albums, and it's a B-sides album. A lot of their B-sides were better than their singles. So if you're familiar with this album, it's an album of B-sides. But original 10-inch box set, 7 records in there of Oasis Master Plan. How far are we going to go today? Oh my God. Local record store, Listen Records, was nice enough to, once again, give me a super good deal on this one. I now have a complete, if you know Tears for Fears, you'll know what I'm talking about here. If you don't, follow me really quickly. In Canada, at least, when their album The Seeds of Love came out, they did a box for it, and it came with, I think, 1 single or the album, I can't remember. And then you had, like a lot of box sets, you had to buy the singles to complete the box, and it came with photo inserts, etc., etc. And the problem with this box set, which I'm going to show you right here, is that, like a lot of these box sets, they fall apart. If you find them, the box is just in horrible condition. They're incomplete. I now have a complete copy once I pieced my old one together with this one, which was in horrible condition. I have a really nice condition copy of the Seeds of Love collection by Tears for Fears. The Seeds of Love album that comes inside here is the limited gold stamped numbered edition from Canada, gatefold. So this comes with all the singles from the Seeds of Love, photo inserts, and the album itself. So I have a super nice copy of the Seeds of Love box set now by Tears for Fears. I love this album. If you don't know the Seeds of Love, listen to it. It's their best album, and it's an amazing album, stacked up against anyone's albums. Anyways, Tears for Fears box set. So that's 2 box sets. Holy cow. Let's get to Vancouver really quickly. I had a choice to make. Do I film video of me shopping there, or I had 1 hour to record shop? That's it. So I could waste time filming video to show you that you probably don't really need to see, or I could get right down to it. I went to Red Cat. If you're Vancouver, you know what I'm talking about. Didn't find anything. Then I went to my favorite record store, and I'm talking fast here for a reason, Beat Street. In fact, I have one video clip, I think, to show you, and here it is.
Make your way to gate number 64. Wood circle right in front of possible aircraft. Thank you.
And that was me waiting at the airport, and that's the only video I took. There you go. So yeah, I chose to record shop rather than film videos of me in Vancouver. I was only there, like I said, there for maybe 20 hours, I think. I picked up a copy of every time I find this album. I have friends who want it. My friend Tom wanted it, and his cousin wanted it, and I found a copy for me finally of the Georgia Satellites in the Land of Sin and Salvation, which was their last one they did for Elektra before they got dropped by Elektra Records. An often forgot album. This is the one after Open All Night. Didn't get a lot of love, but it's a great album by Georgia Satellites in the Land of Sin and Salvation. I got in Vancouver. A couple 7-inch singles, and I just dropped one. You have to excuse me here. So I'll put this back in the sleeve. I was really excited. Beat Street Records in Vancouver. If you've not been there, please go there, but you got to devote yourself a couple hours minimum to do some digging here. I found some nice promo 7-inch singles there in my times I've been there. And this is, I think I found a Run DMC King of Rock promo last time I was there. And this time I found a promo copy of the Beastie Boys' She's On It, which was the single right before License to Ill came out. As you can see there, Demonstration, not for sale, white label. Very happy to have that. So I found that. And then I found a copy of Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's not any copy of Bohemian Rhapsody. I believe this was the reissue that came out on the back of Wayne's World. And I didn't buy it for Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, no, I did not. I bought it for the B-side. The Show Must Go On. I wanted The Show Must Go On in 7-inch for a long time. So I'm going to consider the B-side to be the A-side on this one. So when I found this, it's going to be The Show Must Go On. One of my favorite Queen songs. So I found that there. Copy of S Express first album. See, you guys, I'm all over the place. You got Priest, you got all, and then you get early 90s or late 80s, 89 dance albums. S Express. Love this has that hit song theme from S Express. If you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'll just park that one. All right. I always add U2 singles to my collection when I find them, and I've talked about this before. I have an insanely soft spot for their album Pop by U2, and in a lot of ways it's my favorite U2 album. I should make a video on that and tell you why it is my favorite U2 album, or at least one of the top 2 anyways. That's another time, another video. Copy of Discotheque. This is the Canadian issue in the shrink. I found there for like $8. I will always pick up singles from that Pop album. Make fun of me. I don't care. I like what I like, and I like U2's Pop, and I didn't have Discotheque on 12-inch. So there you go. Annihilator. See, we're going to go from dance to U2 to metal. Annihilator, one of the best Canadian metal bands ever. And what this album is, it was a limited reissue on Earache, and it originally came out in 1999. If you're familiar with Annihilator, they did the classic album Alice in Hell, and then that band split up, and then they had new singers every album. And then in 1999, they reformed the classic Alice in Hell lineup, and they made Criteria for Black Widow. which was really awesome. Not as good as Alice in Hell, obviously, because I don't know if you could top that one. But really happy to find this on vinyl. It's maybe in my top 3 favorite Annihilator albums, but very excited to find that one. How long are we going to go today? We're at 30 minutes. Gonna go a couple more, and I'm looking at, I must have more than 60 more to show you, I'm guessing. Just ballpark figure. It's been that good at the thrift stores lately. Been finding lots of vintage stereo equipment, and there's tons of vinyl. Dogs in Space soundtrack. Okay, this is one of the best soundtracks you've never heard. From an Australian movie. I can't remember if Michael Hutchence was in this movie or not, but he's on the album. Australian movie. But the soundtrack is absolutely killer insane, and it's highly sought after on CD, in my world anyways. Which I do have on CD, but no, first time I've ever seen the vinyl in my life. It's got Iggy Pop, Michael Hutchence is on it, Gang of Four, Brian Eno, just tons of good people, and it's such a good album. Dogs in Space soundtrack, like I said, one of the best soundtracks you've probably never heard. And I don't know how much more to go. It's, like I said, it's been crazy, crazy, crazy. You know what, we're going to end on this one. I found a really, really nice mono copy of Dave Brubeck, Time Out. Columbia 2i, so it'd be early 60s. But really, really nice mono copy of this album. Really excited to find this one. Woo! That was a lot, and I still got, honestly, you know, I'm feeling very sprite and young today and strong. This is not even all of them I have to show you. I got 2 piles to show you. Like I said, it's been very, very, very good at the old thrift stores lately. So we're going to save those for another day. I want to say thank you to everyone. Follow me on Instagram, Nazz, Nazz_Nomad, Nomad. You can catch up with me on Instagram, see what I'm playing, see what I'm not playing, see how I'm wasting my time in life, having fun. Anyways, yeah, there you go. We're going to end this here. Nazz Nomad, or David Michael, a.k.a. Nazz Nomad, signing off. We'll see you next time. And like I said, I'm going to show you some vintage stereo equipment, hopefully coming up soon. I've been finding, really excited to find that stuff. So, peace. See you later.